Okay, I'm going to be watching this for the first time. It's pretty short, but okay. So give you a little.
County here in California.
Let me give you a little bit of context here. I believe he's speaking to that dude from the Convo Couch. Um, I'm sorry, not Jaffe. Uh, Bernie's Coffee Shop, which you can see it says Johnny's Coffee Shop, is a shell set at this point that is directly across the street from the headquarters of the Actors Union SAG AFTRA, right? And it has no electricity. It has from this vantage point, it looks very much like the person is standing right in front of the porta potty because there are no working bathrooms, no running water. They bring in a generator to have electricity in there and to have lighting. Um, but other than that, it's a shell, right?
Hey everybody, it's Philly G with Talk with Philly G and Argenta Media. We are here tonight with Dr. Bill.
Hey, how are you?
Say hi to them.
Hi, everybody.
Dr. Bill recruited me to form a Progressive Democrats of America chapter in South Orange County, and then got manipulated by a woman who ended up getting, I guess, a paid position within the organization and had a boner for me. I don't know.
I worked for Kaiser in Orange County here in California for about 30 plus years.
You are here in support of Bernie?
Yes, absolutely.
And what is one or two issues that you really feel strongly about?
Well, the top two issues I think on everybody's mind, especially here in California, would be our climate emergency and Medicare for all. And Bernie's a champion for both.
Like some people are saying, well, it's going to be too expensive.
Nonsense. Right now, we waste about a third of every healthcare dollar on administrative costs and big pharma profits. So it doesn't cost any more to do Medicare for all, other than the political cost of removing the middleman, which at this point is a very powerful lobby of insurance companies, big insurance and big pharma.
That's great, everybody. Dr. Bill and Dr. Phil.
Good talking with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Okay, so it's not the guy from the Convo Couch who was seriously trying to infiltrate Orange County politics and tried to get the progressives down here to vote for Harley Ruda, who was a recently had recently been a Republican and then changed parties to Democrat in order to run for Congress. He did get in for 4 years. That was in 2018. This is a year later. Dr. Bill recruited me to have a chapter of the Progressive Democrats of America, and I hosted all kinds of meetings. He ended up working very closely with somebody in the organization who was defaming me severely while that was going on. So I'll copy this link and I'll go into some other stuff. Hold up. Okay, so here's more on this particular set location and how it looked from the inside. It is a set. It's not an actual working diner, and they actually filmed Pulp Fiction there. The diner scene in Pulp Fiction was filmed in this location. Um, Also, relating back to one of the other videos that I did when I talked about how I'm not really strong in math, the first year that I attended Pepperdine, I think was I think it was 97. And I had there were two. We took two classes at a time, and they were like 5 units apiece or something like that. And the first class I took was organizational behavior, and the other class I was taking was accounting. And the fellow who taught accounting was teaching it more on a master's level than what um, should be delivered for a bachelor's degree. And it was the first time I ever used a laptop. It was before I was at Ingram Micro. It was before I was really doing a lot with computers. And so I had to borrow my mom's, um, I think she had a MacBook or something like that. It was like an Apple laptop. And I had to use a spreadsheet program on that, learn it in the moment, and do a project that was called the Bomber. So it was like he already knew we were going to fail, right? He actually failed 80% of the class that year because we not only did we have to figure out the calculations, but we also had to learn a spreadsheet program for the first time. And because it wasn't one of the more proprietary computer systems, it didn't operate exactly the same way as stuff that isn't Apple, because Apple is very specific. It's very proprietary, and so it operates differently. And I could not figure out all the formulas to make this Bomber program work. So 80% of the class failed, because this is also like the first time we're using laptops and computers and these types of applications. And I had to take it again, and the second time I took it I passed with a C. But they did not oftentimes when you take a class for the second time, they'll eliminate your first grade that of the first attempt, and they'll just give you the second grade, but they didn't eliminate it. Fortunately, I was able to be high skilled in other areas like economics. I was really good at that, and finance. So I wasn't totally weak in math, but that one just, it totally threw me off. Anyway, let's go through this again.
Don't give up on the political process. Don't listen to the Trumps of the world and allowing them to divide us. If we re-engage and get involved, if we come together, there is nothing that we could not accomplish.
And you can see that in the first video that I placed, that they were actually cleaning the windows off. And that was 6 years ago. The grand opening, was loaded 9 years ago. But it looked like they were cleaning off the windows 6 years ago. So perhaps they were trying to repurpose it as a movie set again. I don't know.
The political revolution. You say it's impossible, and yet here we are. Because for the first time we can communicate with everyone simultaneously with one message. We are fighting for the soul of our democracy.
I received several calls last week that Ro Khanna that he did an event with Bernie, and Ro Khanna has basically, the rest of the progressives across our nation do not think very highly of California progressives because of the infiltration by people like the Convo Couch and Ro Khanna and Marguerite LeCobb and others who are very active in Lauren Steiner, people like that, because they bring in a lot of ideas about promoting charter schools, which is basically turning public education into private enterprise. It takes away facilities and funding away from public education and gives it to private entities who do not fall under the same standards of education. And so there's been a lot of problems. A lot of them have gone out of business. We had, she's passed away now, but Delane Easton kept running and getting supported by this group. And she was the first person to introduce charter school legislation into California back in the 90s. And I think it was Antonio Villaraigosa, the former LA mayor, continued that and actually did like a reality series showing schools that he renovated as charter schools. And Delane actually was part of a network of charter schools as well after she was no longer in office. And I had a big issue with that because I come from a family where, my mother is a public school teacher, and I understood fully what they were doing. They were trying to take public education and make it private so that they didn't have to follow general standards of education. This is a way of controlling the upbringing of your children, okay? And making them less intelligent, less opportunities in life, right? They've also tried to take over a lot of the magnet schools. There was a huge dispute over Hamilton High, which has a fantastic magnet program. And I don't know if they won or they didn't win or what happened. I might have to pause here for a second. Sorry, Sally got triggered. But basically, it's a way of defunding public education and giving children an inferior education experience to what we in the past experienced from, Gen X and even the millennials, I think, had a better situation than what's going on now. But I think they are trying to rein it in a bit. So that was one of the problems. But I mean, we've seen all kinds of problems that, progressives by nature should not be in support of. And so there were a lot of infiltrators in what we were doing, and a lot of them circulated at that particular location and were organizing there and creating things like exploiting the homeless population in Los Angeles. That was one of them. They were doing videos of homeless people and just monetizing them, and it was bad. There was also a showers thing. They were offering showers to homeless people, and one of the activists bragged at several speaking events that he allowed a woman to skip the line to get a shower first because she had been raped. And so rather than call emergency services so that she could have a rape kit done and get taken care of, he had her jump the line and clean all the evidence away. It was stuff like that. They were doing like homeless tourism, where they had activists go up and sleep on the streets where homeless sleep to have the experience of it, right? But you're taking up space from where they are camped, and it's a dangerous situation. And the guy in charge had several allegations of abusing women. These were the people that were preventing me from getting involved. And it happened over and over again. And even, with the one that got a job at PDA and prevented me from continuing my activism, it's just shocking. It's absolutely shocking how infiltrated that movement became.